indication of what's playing out in today's trade and how it affected investor confidence?
Thanks so much for having me this afternoon. Unfortunately, trading today has been truncated due to a technical glitch at the Nigerian Stock Exchange. We're only able to trade for just over 1 hour, and till now there's still an issue that the Stock Exchange has been trying to resolve, a technical issue. So trading today has not gone so smoothly. We know that the NSE All Share ended the day on a positive note in yesterday's session. What do you expect for tomorrow? Do you think these problems will be resolved before the trading day starts tomorrow? The expectations are that the problems will be resolved today, and if possible, there will still be some trading hours today, maybe an hour or so today. We actually think that what has happened in the market today and yesterday, the announcements with regards to the changes at the top of Nigerian Stock Exchange is a positive one. The market is looking at it positively. The expectation is that investors will continue to be bullish on the market. You know, there will be some uncertainty initially, but we believe that with the messages being passed across by the Securities and Exchange Commission, there will be confidence in the market. Just taking a look at the overall sentiment, though, from your part, what are you going to be doing in tomorrow's session? Are you going to be accumulating stocks, or are you going to be waiting for the dust to settle? I think a number of investors will be waiting for the dust to settle. However, I mean, a few investors that already understand the dynamics of the Nigerian market will still be bullish on the market. We should recall that over the last few days before the beginning of this week, we've seen a bullish run, even though it's not been staggering, but it's been bullish nonetheless. We actually think right now, with the way the market is priced, that investors will continue to be bullish on the market. With a change of leadership, clearly we could see some change in strategies and regulations as well. What are investors hoping for? Investors are hoping for a governance structure that is transparent, a governance structure that they have confidence in, and that is what the Securities and Exchange Commission has promised to instill into the capital market. We think that will happen soon, and we think that, I mean, if the interim administrator, Mr. Emmanuel Ikazobo, that has been appointed, if he actually sets down to work very quickly in assuring investors of his genuine interest in ensuring that a new and independent and very effective leader is put in place in the stock exchange, it will be positive for the market. Akeem, also just looking at the most recent news that comes out of Nigeria, we know AMCON has been set up, and that created a lot of positivity. We're seeing change of leadership when it comes to the SEC. Just your view on the overall sentiment in Nigeria. Are we starting to see the right movement being made, you know, in the right direction in terms of regulation and in terms of managing the problems that have been an issue for sentiment in the past? Do you think that it's going to start restoring sentiment to the right levels? In other words, that the NSE All Share could firmly be in a bull run? I think so. I mean, I absolutely believe that's what's going to happen. I mean, it's come in fits and jerks, and it's been slow in coming, but we think that there's a concerted effort from the regulatory authorities, from the federal government, with the AMCON law being signed, and with the AMCON about to start making interventions in the market. We think that's going to send positive signals to the market. It's going to help the banks with buying off some of their loans. We also think that the steps that have been taken right now to resolve the wranglings at the helms of affairs at the Nigerian Stock Exchange is also a positive sign. We believe, or we expect, that with what the SEC has done yesterday and today, we'll actually see the enthronement of a new leadership at the Nigerian Stock Exchange that will actually ensure that the market continues to rise positively. So we think the bull run will come. We think the market will move beyond the 25,000-ish region that it is now. Akeem, how are you going to be positioning yourself? Tell us about asset allocation and which stocks you're looking out for. I would rather talk about the industries. I think the banking industries and the building material subsectors are still the favorite picks right now. I mean, you have very good stocks in those sectors, and I think those are the areas that most investors will be looking out for right now. I mean, for a portfolio manager that's looking at best price stocks, you look at the banking sector, you look at the the building materials, and slightly to the food and beverages subsectors of the Nigerian Stock Exchange. What about the play when it comes to the bond market? Because we've seen quite a bit of interest. Do you see that sort of remaining intact going forward? The bond market, you said? Yes. Yes, we think the bond market is a market that's still going to be a lot more active this year. I mean, we've seen a recent issue by one of the state governments. We are expecting another one to come up on stream soon. We're also expecting some corporates to come in. I mean, news in the market is that Flour Mills is trying to come into the market to raise some bonds, which we think is a good thing. So we're expecting a lot of activities in the bond markets also.
And finally, Akeem, looking at the stance of foreigners and how you think all of this news is playing out from a foreigner perspective, do you think that it's going to create positive sentiment, or do you think that it's going to perhaps create a little bit of fear and jitteriness initially?
There are two categories of foreign investors, I would say. There are those that are just coming into the country. For those category of investors, I mean, they will still be a bit circumspect and they will be a bit edgy. For the foreign investors that have already been investing in the country and they are used to the way the system is, they are a lot more confident about the system. For those ones that are just coming in, we are doing our best to make them realize that the SEC is trying to bring into place a system that will give them the confidence to invest. You know, like I said earlier, it has come in a slow way, but it's really coming. And we think that overall, I mean, they'll be convinced and they'll realize that the market in Nigeria is a market that they should be, both for the short term and for the long term.